Imagine receiving an admission letter from your dream university, maybe in the UK, Canada, Australia, Germany, or Ireland. You can almost picture yourself walking across the campus, attending world class lectures, and building the future you have always dreamed of. But then you notice one requirement that appears on almost every university website, and that is English language proficiency. IELTS required. And suddenly everything become confused. What is IELTS? Why do university ask for it? Is IELTS really difficult? Should I take academic or general IELTS? Can one wrong choice ruin my study abroad plan? If these questions have ever crossed your mind, don't worry, you are not alone. Every year, millions of students begin their study abroad journey with exactly the same confusion. The good news is that today we are going to clear all of it. In this video, I'll explain what IELTS actually is, why it's so important, the difference between IELTS academic and IELTS general training, who should take each one, and how to choose the correct test based on your goal. This is also the first lesson of our Complete IELTS Academy series, where I shall guide you step by step from absolute beginner to a high-level IELTS band score. So if studying abroad is your dream, this series could become one of the most valuable resources on your journey. Let's get started. First of all, what is IELTS? IELTS stands for the International English Language Testing System. It is one of the world's most recognized English language proficiency tests. Every year, millions of people take IELTS to study, work, or migrate to English-speaking countries. Thousands of universities, employers, professional organizations, and immigration authorities accept IELTS scores. If English is not your first language, IELTS help institutions measure whether you can communicate effectively in English in real life situation. Remember this, IELTS is not an exam that tests intelligence. It's measure your ability to understand, speak, read and write English. Now, why do university ask for IELTS? Imagine you are going to study engineering, medicine, business or computer science in another country. Your lectures, assignments, presentation and exams will all be in English. University need confidence that you can understand lectures, read textbook, write assignment, participate in classroom discussions and communicate with professors and classmates. That's why they require proof of English proficiency. IELTS is one of the most trusted way to provide that proof. Now, what are the 4 skills IELTS test? The IELTS exam measure 4 key language skills: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. These 4 sections evaluate how well you use English in practical, everyday, academic, and professional situation. There are 2 main versions of IELTS. Number 1, IELTS academic, and number 2, IELTS general training. The listening and speaking section are essentially the same in both tests. The biggest differences are in the reading and writing section. Let's look at each one. IELTS academic is designed for people who want to study at universities or colleges where English is the language of instruction. If you are planning to pursue a bachelor, master or PhD abroad, this is almost always the version you need. The reading passages are longer and based on academic topics such as science, history, technology and education. If we talk about the writing task, one usually requires you to describe a graph, chart, map or process. Writing task 2 asks you to write an essay on a specific topic. In short, academic IELTS prepare you for university level English. Now there is a question, who should take IELTS academic? You should choose IELTS academic if you want to study abroad, apply for scholarship, enter undergraduate or postgraduate program, or join many professional licensing bodies. If your goal is higher education, academic IELTS is usually the correct choice. Now let's discuss IELTS general training. This version is intended for people who are moving to an English speaking country for work, training, everyday life, or certain immigration pathway. The reading section focuses on practical materials such as advertisements, workplace, notices, emails, manual, and everyday information. Writing task 1 requires writing a letter, for example, to a landlord, employer, or friend. Writing task 2 is still an essay, but the topics are generally related to everyday life and society. Now, who should take IELTS general training? General training is commonly suitable for people who want to work abroad, apply for certain immigration programs, complete vocational or non-degree training, or demonstrate practical English skill for daily life. Always check the specific requirement of the country, employer, or immigration authority before booking your test. Now, academic versus general. What's the difference? Let's compare them. Purpose: academic is for higher education and many scholarship application, while general training is commonly used for work, migration, and practical everyday communication. Reading: academic include university style texts, while general include workplace or daily life materials. Writing task: first, academic require describing visual information like chart or graphs. General require writing a letter. Listening almost the same, and speaking also essentially the same. Which one is more difficult? This is one of the most common questions. Neither test is easy. They simply focus on different contexts. Academic reading and writing are generally considered more challenging because they involve academic language and analytical tasks. General training focuses more on practical English used in everyday situations. The right choice depends on your goal, not on which one seems easier. Which IELTS should scholarship student take? If you are applying for scholarship or university admission abroad, in most cases you will need IELTS academic. Whether you are planning to study in the UK, Australia, Canada, Ireland, New Zealand, or many European countries, university typically require the academic version. Always read the official admission requirements for your chosen university or scholarship before registration. Now there is a major question. Can you study abroad without IELTS? Sometimes yes. Some universities accept alternative English tests or may waive the English requirement under specific conditions. However, many universities and scholarship programs still accept or prefer IELTS, making it one of the fastest and most widely recognized options. Before booking your exams, avoid these mistakes. Choose the wrong IELTS version, not checking the university's English language requirement, starting preparation too late, ignoring speaking practice because they feel shy, memorizing answer instead of improving real English skills. Avoid these mistakes can save both time and money. Final advice: if your dream is to study abroad, don't see IELTS as an obstacle. See it as a skill that will help you succeed in university and in your future career. Every day you spend improving your English brings you one step closer to your dream country and your dream university. Success in IELTS does not come from luck. It comes from consistent practice, the right strategy, and patience. This was the IELTS introductory video. In the next video, I'll explain the complete IELTS exam structure, including every section, timing, question type, and how the band score is calculated. If you are serious about studying abroad and winning scholarship, subscribe to the channel because this IELTS Academy series will guide you from beginner level all the way to achieving your target band score. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next lesson. Allah Hafiz.